Welcome back to the episode. This time we have episode 34, and I just made the goal of publishing 100 podcast episodes. And so this is 34 of 100. And today we're going to talk about the daily gym workouts that actually drive business growth. So that's your nugget right there. Have you ever had a PT, a personal trainer? Well, I just had one today, and I've been going to the gym since just before the new year, and it's been a week and a half, almost two now, and I feel pumped. I don't know if you can see it. Probably it doesn't look like much. Um, I definitely have a lot more muscle, but I also realized that on Romanian deadlifts, normal deadlifts, and pull-ups, I'm super weak, and my posture is wrong. So I made the goal. I paid some money to a personal trainer, and I booked him for 5 times because that's the minimum. And I can just feel like this 1 hour with him today, for example, I have learned so much that normally I could have spent probably 4 hours watching YouTube videos on how to do stuff. And I actually do before I do the workouts. I look at YouTube videos in correct form, but I don't have a person that actually is actively telling me what to adjust. And so I do see an analogy here for any business growth like you want. And this is one thing that now happened to me this week. You want to hire a mentor, a coach for growing your business, not only growing your body, right? And you might not need him forever, but you want a mentor to tell you as soon as possible which screws to tighten or to loosen to adjust your business. And I've seen the benefits in the gym because if I don't get a coach and I lift wrongly on a deadlift, that's, very dangerous. And so what I feel like is this translates so much to any endeavor. Even like in my church, for example, we also have mentors. We have Bible teachers, right? That teach us as kids. We had our parents. And so for the business, you also want someone that is a couple steps ahead of you. In the gym, you don't want to hire the big slobby guy. You want to hire a personal trainer that looks like he's fit, right? And so if you need help with anything, call me. That's what I'm saying. But also get professional help for the area that you need help with and look for proof that they actually got there where you want to go, right? One little update, I have just onboarded an hour ago, roughly, um, the client that I talked about. And my dashboard is now in Trello. And so I have four cards here, if you will, in queue, working on now, needs client review, and done. And so I kind of just took all the deliverables. I have an offer doc that included everything that I need to do and the time frame of when it needs to be done or how long one task will take. And I've just copied that manually into Trello, and now I have deadlines. I know at what point in time I gotta be working on what. And the line or the lane, the card that contains a ticket under working on now, I know, that's the focus for now. So I just love this, the simplicity of it. You can have comments within each ticket. It's like Jira, or, a project management form, but like so simplistic. I just love it. And in the future, I probably might just be using this all the time. So this is very enjoyable to work with this. And I thought Trello is outdated. I last time I used Trello was, I think, 10 years ago or even longer. So yeah, definitely give this a try. And then one thing that happened, a little bit about background story. One thing that I want to share with you is don't ask for permission. I've gone to the West End Hotel a couple days ago and took my daughter for breakfast, and then we played on the playground. And I realized, hey, a couple months back, I asked the staff if we could play on the playground, and they said, nah, normally not, but since you paid for breakfast, you may go and play for 30 minutes. And today or that day, I went and I just played and didn't ask anyone. Nobody complained. And then I realized tons of other people, Chinese, Russian, local, they come there to play, and they're not house guests. They just, come to visit for the playground. So applies for so many things. Just don't worry so much, especially if you're German by any chance. There's so many rules and regulations in the German culture. Just don't, like, just do it and apologize after, right? Um, Another thing that happened, regarding, don't ask for permission, cold outreach somewhat, and this is not legal advice, but cold outreach is somewhat, not officially granted in Germany, cold email outreach. And a client did it and got fined, got like paid some money. But then, on the business side of things, the money that he made with cold outreach was so much higher than the fines he paid. So, just factor that in. Then I had a funny thought, being in the gym the other day, and I listened to Eminem, Without Me, and I thought, Kurgi Krushin, or whatever his name is on LinkedIn, he's a SEO link builder, PR guy, and he did a funny mem music video, and I thought maybe I should give this a hobby go and creating a Without Me Eminem cover about B2B marketing, when you play things, without the buyer in mind, without the customer in mind, and you just start spamming Reddit and create listicles on PR Newswire because they work just today, but then you destroy your reputation and like people kind of don't take you seriously, and it might actually hurt you. If you remember my 500K loss story, how I lost my, yeah, SEO business in the very early days, was because I spammed the internet, and then they kind of like, you know, um, gray listed, red listed my website, and then, business gone. One other thing that I want to talk about is, when you're in automation and you're self-hosting N8N. I just got an email from DigitalOcean saying there's N8N versions that are vulnerable to some injections, hacker stuff. So that's one downside you want to take care of, to always update, and if possible, also like do this weekly. I don't have a way of automatically updating it, but then I'm only paying $6 a month, stuff like that, for my self-hosted version. And yeah, just don't get hacked. And if you have client stuff on your own N8N instance, don't forget to update, because this could cause serious, business harm. A plan I had was creating a set of mini agents, if you will, that kind of like take care. And I want to use Maven, the client I closed last, and that agreed to me using the stuff as, case study and like showcase whatever I'm working on. Is, if I'm looking at all the steps that I'm going through with this client, which is creating the DNA profile. I want to create, or I plan to create, a custom GPT for that. I did already. I'm not so happy with the quality output, because the custom GPT, the language is off, the output is too short. For example, the DNA profile output would be about 10 pages only, when Claude on my N8N program would output 30, up to 90 pages at times, depending on input from the client. So it's nowhere in comparison, but I'm wondering if it could be enough for a DIY solution. Just giving this a thought. And then I also have the positioning and offer design, so I could create a positioning and offer GPT. Then I have the founder VSL script, also perfectly suitable for a custom GPT. Landing page copy, the same, could work on off of a template and then create a nicely designed landing page copy that then can be fed into Bold or Replit or Lovable for that MVP mockup. And then I have outreach copy for LinkedIn and email. And I feel also those things could potentially be perfect for custom GPTs because I can take Eric Novoslavsky's outreach playbook, put it in there as base, and then everything that comes out in accord with the customer DNA report will be so on point, so targeted on that specific audience. Then I have a 90-day pipeline use plan. So what will be done or what he should be doing with the stuff I'm giving him for 90 days, roughly, right? And then a VSL Loom feedback. I don't know if that needs a custom GPT, but like a headline hook variations pack that I'm giving him as a bonus could also serve as a custom GPT. I give him feedback on the founder message. And this means I'm running a live session for him where he can say the offer out loud, for calls and DMs and intros and stuff. And like we calibrate, I give feedback, and I don't know if I can clone myself, but to a degree, a GPT could be the feedback GPT, right? And then lastly, I'm giving him outreach feedback when he starts the LinkedIn outreach, and depending on how people react, we can adjust the copy and stuff like that. So I'm thinking there's a lot of potential um, for custom GPTs that kind of like do my work for me, where I'm the human in the loop, and then I have a sellable product, right? Lots more entries into my ecosystem. So that's going on. And I mentioned I did a custom GPT for the DNA profiler. And now, funny enough, like this happens many times where I'm recording these things and I'm just thinking out loud, kind of. And I'm realizing maybe for public and a low entry ticket offer or low entry ticket product, low ticket product, this could actually work well as because it's not the whole system, it's like a light version. Maybe that's my solution. Yeah, and one more time, I think I mentioned in the last podcast episode, which is going on for a couple minutes now, 12, that I'm using these now twice a week. I'm recording them Tuesday, and I'm recording them Friday, and I have time boxed 30-minute sessions where I put down a podcast. Here, maybe you can share this also. Like when you're watching this on YouTube, on Instagram, or LinkedIn as a video, then you can see what's going on. It's the can we zoom in here somehow? Oh, yeah. It's a big note on what I want to mention on the podcast. And so I create these a week ahead, podcast prep. And then I take notes. I jot down the big idea. I can spend a couple days thinking about this big idea, and I can actually improve this idea. I can then also have a list of, 4 to 5 things that I want to mention on about my week of stuff that happened and what I learned about it. And so it's a really easy way to time box that preparation time, but use the days prior already to fill in the blanks, if that makes sense. And of that, I now have, and I may be automating this as well. Once this is recorded, I actually now have a transcript in the what's it called? In the folder of where the video lands. And it has the timestamps, it has when did I say what, it has the whole video. So I can just upload the transcript, and then I have immediately the ideas for content generation, because I talked for 15 minutes now about my stuff, my ideas, what happened, and this can become a multitude of social media posts. And I might create a little short video to explain the post. I might take a screenshot of what I'm working on, for example, the Trello board. And I talked to one friend who's using a scheduling tool. So I'm thinking I could, instead of manually posting to LinkedIn, manually posting to Instagram. And maybe I even started on TikTok, because if I can just distribute it so easily, why not do it? If there's one tool. So I'm going to do some research about this. And keep the big idea in mind that daily gym workouts drive business growth. And if you want to, follow my workout plan, text me on LinkedIn about workout and I can send you the plan. It's very easy because it's 6 days of the week and every day they follow the same routine. So I don't have to think much. I know what's going on, right? All right. This is episode 34 of 100. Thank you for sticking around and go do some workouts. Hire a coach. Don't ask for permission. Uh, Listen to Eminem. And don't forget vulnerability issues if you self-host N8N. And maybe go and create a couple mini agents as I want to do. If you're interested in any of those mini agents, tell me and I'll send you the link. And I'll see you in the next one. Dom out. Bye.